guys, this is Crystal Galloway, also known as Bella Bazooka. I am coming to you from my son's room because he has the cool setup, but those are my posters, Tyrion, Tom Petty, probably my two faves, but anyway. I used to do Bazooka Magazine. It printed from 2009 to 2012. I will put a link in the description. It covered bars, bands, burlesque, roller derby, and a sex column called Sex and the Sticks, which in Western Kentucky in 2009 was actually pretty scandalous. But what I'm coming to you today with is kind of a little bit of an alternative magazine. I'm going to have separate episodes and series, different stuff, books, movies, TV, self-care, home care, whatever, makeup tutorials, I don't know. We will see as we go along. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me. And I guess right now we are going to talk about some music and show some entertainment. Because I know we are all sitting in our beds, eating a bunch of comfort food, gaining like 30 pounds. But hey, what are you going to do when the world ends? That's what you're fucking doing. That's exactly what I'm fucking doing. So anyway. One thing you may not have heard of that I think is really cool is Ninja Sex Party. And that was introduced to me by my son. He's a teenager. And, kids go through that phase from kind of 10 to 13 where they're like, Mom, listen to this. And you're like, I can't fucking hear another emo song. I'm going to shoot myself in the face. But I think it's kind of important, to at least listen to half of it. I mean, because honestly, they're trying to share something about themselves with you. And, it's kind of a good thing. So I think, but anyway, the point of this story is my son brought this song to me. He's like, you know what? You've got to listen to this and you've got to see this video and you are totally going to want to fuck this guy. And I was like, really? He's like, yep, just watch it. And so Ninja Sex Party, the lead singer's Danny Sexbang, the cover of Take On Me. Yes, watch this video and I dare you not to want to have this man's babies. Even if you're 41 and like me, I don't want any more babies. You watch this video and you're going to be like, oh my God, I would Jufro, 6'2" and 150 pounds and all. I would fuck this guy in a heartbeat. Yes, absolutely. It's amazing. He is awesome. I don't know what else to say. I don't look at a picture of him first. Just watch the video. And after you watch that video, you need to watch Danny Don't You Know. This is one of their original songs. And it is amazing. It's basically him talking to himself at 13 and how we all felt gawky and stupid and awkward and weird and nobody is ever going to like us ever in a million years. And one of the choruses is, Daddy, don't you know that you are cool as fuck on the inside? And you will listen to this song and it will be one of your new anthems. I swear. It is amazing. It's awesome. So, Ninja Sex Party, yes, thank my teenage son for pointing it out to me. Get into some of that. It's really, really good. Music-wise, also, I think a really good thing to do right now is go to top songs of whatever year it was when you were 16. Mine was 1994. So, I went and made a playlist, and yes, it's got Beck, I'm a Loser, Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun, Warren G, Regulate, stuff that I wouldn't even normally have listened to. But, when you were driving down the road, I had the most badass truck, and Ann Meredith, my best friend, will attest to this. I had a matte black Bronco 2 with a red leather interior. And I remember being in a black French bikini and blue jean shorts and just roaring down the road, taking a sip, taking a hit, whatever, and heading to the lake and partying my ass off. How can you not have good memories of making a playlist of when you were 16? Because let's all face it, we were happy then. Maybe not so much now, but back then it was awesome. But yeah, some other stuff that was really popular was like Interstate Love Songs, Stone Temple Pilots, Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, Come to My Window, Melissa Etheridge. You know, I mean, that was just like my summer of 94, and it was amazing. So now we're going to talk about some shows. Okay, before I talk about shows, okay, if you have not discovered the amazingness of jailbreaking a Fire Stick, you need to. Because, and I'm not feeling bad about talking about this, because there's 100 fucking videos on YouTube about how to jailbreak a Fire Stick. Invest $40 in getting an Amazon Fire Stick, and I will have a link in the description about how to jailbreak one. I mean, I made my son do it the first time, and yeah, that was great, but when we had to redo it, and I had to do it. And I am like the biggest tech idiot you will ever meet in your life. Like, I don't even use Twitter, dude. Like, I kind of know how, but I'm not really good at it. So, like, yes, tech idiot. I could still figure out how to jailbreak a Fire Stick. So you can watch whatever you want. So, okay, here are some great shows. On Netflix, they have Twin Peaks. Now, some of you younger people watching this may not realize that, like, back in the day, you didn't have a TV in your room, or a screen in your room, or a computer in your hand. There was one TV, it was in the living room, and you had to watch shit with your parents, and it was really weird. And you had to beg and plead to watch your own TV shows. And when I was 13 in 1991, Twin Peaks came out. And it's by David Lynch. I don't know if you know who that is. If you do, you know it's weird. It's fucking crazy weird. Like, there are scenes with red velvet curtains and a midget dancing and everybody talking backwards. It's nuts. But if you want, like, it's a crime mystery drama with some love and romance and a whole lot of weirdness. There's a log lady who talks to a log. I mean, but it, like, turns out to be a really important part of the show. It's really super cool, and you should check it out. If you never got into, and maybe it'll make you go on a David Lynch, like, freak out, and you'll watch every David Lynch thing ever, which you should, because he's kind of a genius. Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Oh, love it. You know what? I was hesitant to watch it because I didn't really get into Riverdale. Like, I thought I would, but I just didn't really care for it that much. And so I was like, oh, I remember Sabrina and the talking cat puppet and all that shit, you know. But The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, I will say, especially if you like strong female characters, is an amazing show. I mean, like, you're going to look at Aunt Zelda and be like, that's it. I'm wearing nothing but high velvet collars and smoking out of, like, a cigarette holder for the rest of my life because it's glamorous and fabulous and I want to be like her. But it's also, like, really about a young woman finding her power and finding her own power, not, like, you know, taking somebody else's. I mean, it's a really, really cool show. And I think if you haven't checked it out yet, you really should. Just so you know, yes, I have been drinking a little bit. Right now, I'm drinking Four Loko. Earlier, I was drinking vodka mixed with cotton candy, Bang, and Sprite. Because I need a little bit of alcohol to have the balls to do this. I would be smoking, but my son says I'm not allowed to smoke in his room. Okay. Danny McBride. Let me say, I have loved everything I have ever seen Danny McBride in. I think he's funny as fuck. I love him. I love the mullet. I love that asshole cocky attitude. I just eat it up. But I tried to watch his series, and I could never get into it. Like, Eastbound and Down. I watched it, couldn't get into it. Vice Principals, better because of Groggins. I think it's Walter Groggins who plays his opposite in that. Better, but couldn't really get into it. And then The Righteous Gemstones came out with John Goodman and Adam Devine and Danny McBride. And let me just say, holy shit. What a wonderful show. It is amazing. He said that when he was researching, he actually wanted to do a show about the Dixie Mafia, which I know some members of the Carter Mafia, and that would be a really good show. I mean, stories I could tell you guys, but I might get killed. So I will not go there. But he looked at the evangelical Christian church and said, hey, this is kind of a lot like the Dixie Mafia. So and especially anybody who I didn't grow up in a very religious home, but if you did grow up in a very religious home, then you will identify with this show very much so. And honestly, I think Danny McBride has like totally hit his stride, and this is really, really an awesome show you should check out. And it's on HBO, but if you get the Fire Stick, you can jailbreak it. So I've also been watching a lot of stand-up. I love stand-up comedy. If you're young and watching this and have never seen Richard Pryor or George Carlin or Robin Williams when he was on coke, then you need to get some research done, because honestly, those guys were fucking awesome. But right now, the really popular guys are like Brett Keshner and Tom Segura, and those guys are great. I love those guys. Okay, that's my son, who's like my kind of producer, Bert Kreischer. But a couple of that have stand out for me have been, I gotta look at my notes, I'm sorry. Taylor Tomlinson, Quarter Life Crisis. She's 25. You're 25. What the fuck could you possibly have to say about anything? But no, she is actually hilarious. She really is. I identified with her, and I'm 41. I'm old as shit. So, there were things that she was talking about, had me rolling. Totally check it out. But the one I'm really, really wanting you to watch is Jenny Slate, Stage Fright. Now, she was on Parks and Rec. She was Mona Lisa. She was, what's his name?
John Ralphio.
John Ralphio's sister. So, she was hilarious on that. Yes, that's my son. But yes, Jenny Slate, Stage Fright. And I'm going to tell you, it's a little intense. It's not just your standard stand-up comedian type show. It goes to her home, her parents' home, actually, in Massachusetts. And it's haunted, and she talks to her sisters. She talks to her grandmothers, who are, let me tell you, fucking amazing. Like, if my grandmother was still alive, mother, she was a go-go dancer for the troops. Amazing bitch. Amazing. And she would be proud that I said she's an amazing bitch. But these women are legit badass. And she's talking about them and talking to them. And she shares a lot of vulnerability about her pain in her life and her truth. And I think when you can do that and share a piece of yourself, even when it's not the prettiest piece of yourself, with someone, even if it's through a screen, even if you never get any feedback and never know that you touched that person's life, that if someone out there says, oh my God, yeah, I totally get you on that. I'm not the only one. Then I think you have done something amazing in the world, and you should be fucking applauded for it. And that's what the Jenny Slate show. I felt her vulnerability and her loneliness and her anxiety. And yeah, I might have cried a little. And usually when somebody tells me, oh my God, you gotta watch this, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, it's gonna change your life, I'm like, I don't fucking need that right now. I cry enough. Thank you very much. No, I'm telling you, it's worth it. Watch Jenny Slate, Stage Fright. It's really good stuff. And honestly, it's, Ken Jeong, if you haven't already seen that, or Ken Jeong, I don't know. You Complete Me Ho, great one. That's a good one. I watched the Isla Schlesinger sketch show. There was a couple of good moments, but it was okay. I liked about a third of this stuff on there. It was all right. It's you know what? you ain't got shit else to do. So it's half an hour, give it a shot. You know, you may love it. But as far as movies go, there's one new one that you probably haven't seen that I'm going to recommend, and then I'm going to recommend some other stuff. But the one that I'm going to recommend is Parasite. It is a North Korean, it's a Korean movie with subtitles. I know you're like, fuck no, Crystal, I don't want to read while I'm watching a movie. I know that. I didn't want to either. I'm a very cultured person. I went to Governor School for the Arts. I love Shakespeare, but I still hate fucking reading a movie. But I will tell you, this movie is worth reading. Holy shit. It starts out this really, really poor family in Korea starts like moving themselves into like helper positions in this house, like tutor, like driver, like cook, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be like a funny con artist kind of movie. And then the movie takes a fucking sharp ass turn. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Oh my god. And it is amazing. Like, one reviewer said he walked out of the theater and his legs were shaking. He could barely walk. I mean, there's like shocking, like, okay, like not shocking like Saw, somebody chops their leg off. Fuck that. No. This is a holy fuck kind of moment. Like, seriously, get Parasite. You can rent it on Amazon for like $6 or whatever, or you can do the Fire Stick and break it. It is worth seeing. I am telling you, Parasite is amazing. As far as movies go, like, honestly, what I've been doing is rewatching my old favorite movies. And there is science behind this. Like, rewatching your favorite shows, rewatching your favorite movies. I mean, there is something to be said. The stories that you enjoy say a lot about who you are. I mean, like when I'm doing dating apps and that kind of shit, you know, I always ask, what are your favorite TV shows? What are your favorite movies? I mean, because, I mean, it really does reflect, like, the values that you have and what you think is important. And honestly, rewatching these things, like, kind of I can't think of the word. Reinstills the feelings you have about these values. Like, if you were a huge Game of Thrones fan, like, rewatch Game of Thrones. But, like, I'm talking about movies, too, like Pretty Woman and Princess Bride and Shawshank Redemption, you know, like, all these great films. But I will tell you of a couple of movies that you may not have seen that are two of my absolute favorites that I have rewatched recently. One is True Romance. It is actually written by Quentin Tarantino. So you don't, people who are huge Tarantino fans even don't know about it all the time because it was written by him, not directed by him, so it's not in the filmographies. But it stars Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. But it has guest starring roles Samuel Jackson, Gary Oldman, Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper, the guy who played Tony Soprano, I forget what his name is, whatever. But, oh my god, it's an amazing movie. It's kind of like a me and you against the world, baby kind of thing, but blood and guts and violence and hilariousness that all goes with the Tarantino flick. And Gary Oldman's character, Drexel, you will never forget. Let me tell you that. You will never forget the scene with Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken where they talk about eggplants and cantaloupes. Okay, I've piqued your interest. You will never forget that scene. It is one of the best scenes ever in American cinema. I'm just going to say that right now, flat out. You will die. Another one you probably never seen is Freeway. Reese Witherspoon at 14 did this movie. And it's basically Little Red Riding Hood. And I love the modernization of fairy tales because I love to see the creativity at which they like approach these classic tropes. And basically, Reese Witherspoon at 14 is a trick baby. She's this child of a prostitute, doesn't know her father, and goes on a little adventure and runs into the big bad wolf, you know, And I'm not spoiling anything. This happens pretty quickly on. You know, you kind of know he's a bad guy. But when I first saw that movie, I was like, holy shit, this girl is going to be a phenomenon. And then she did Legally Blonde. Ugh. I can't throat and make noise enough for how much that disappointed me. But if you want to see, like, if you've always loved Reese Witherspoon because she's a really good actress, no, you've got to see Freeway, because honestly, I think it's the best shit she's ever done. Really. I mean, I would, like, Bible on that shit, you know, all day long. But anyway, if you're like, you know, fuck it, watch Mean Girls, watch Good Will Hunting, go to Hulu and get some Girls Just Want to Have Fun or some Heathers, chill out, be happy, be comfortable, take care of yourself during this hard time. I'm making some other videos about books I love, about self-care, about home care, which I consider is like taking care of your family and your house and whatever. But anyway, I'm Crystal Galloway. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I appreciate it. Take care, guys. Bye.